All right, last night I took the time to, because of a request from a fan, I sat here and I spent like, what was it, like 3.5 hours playing through the final stage of Ninja Gaiden, right? Completely legitly. I mastered stage 6. I beat the boss with none of the rewind shit, but I did beat the boss. I did beat Ninja Gaiden, and man, it was a lot of fun. It's one of the most fun things I've done all year. Love Ninja Gaiden. It's been a long time since I played it. I think the last time I played it in 2021, I was kind of burned out on it. So it's really nice coming back to it and like rediscovering how good it actually is. I've always been a big advocate for Ninja Gaiden. I'd say it's like probably my top 5 NES games for sure. I'll have to like look at the list of NES games. I mean, there are plenty of great NES games I've never played, but Ninja Gaiden is fantastic, and it's been a big major influence on me personally. Like, I the Golden Age, my book series was directly influenced by Ninja Gaiden Black in general. So going back to Ninja Gaiden and playing through it again, like really rediscovering just how good it was kind of a magical experience, honestly. And I gotta sit here live, and I got to sit here live streaming and doing it, and it was just so much fun, like talking with people about the game and everything that was happening, and like you know, like just what an epic thing I was doing here. And I got fired up about doing more challenge runs. Like beating Mr. Dream on stream. Finally beating Zelda 2. Like that'll be a lot of fun. Like actually doing that. So we'll definitely be playing more NES in the future. But there is no denying that Ninja Gaiden is an absolute masterpiece, and I really hope that at some point Koei Tecmo actually re-releases the sequels. I don't know why the original Ninja Gaiden, which was one of the early, like, the first Nintendo Switch Online games, why that still hasn't gotten, like, the sequels on board. It's weird. We got a Harvest Moon sequel before it. Like, I'm just kind of confused. Are people not playing this game? Do people not care about it? Like, again, that playing through that game was an absolute gem. I was over the moon about it. Just absolute 10 out of 10 experience. Fantastic game from start to finish. Will always be a fan. So what does this mean, like in general? What is on my mind as I finish it? It's way better than Elden Ring, right? Like, this is a game that takes actual skill to get through, right? It actually requires you to play the same stages over and over and over again. You have to master pattern recognition. You have to master the mechanics. You have to master your character's movements and avoid every obstacle and take advantage of glitches occasionally, right? You have to use every tool at your disposal to get through every obstacle in the game, clear every stage, and beat every boss. It takes a lot of skill, it takes a lot of practice, but boy, is it worth it. The game is an all-time classic, and getting through that game, seeing that final cutscene, it is magical. To put it very bluntly, like it is a fantastic experience. So, what is that? When I compare that to Elden Ring, right? When I compare that to like the experience of going through like those boring dungeons, fighting those boring enemies to reach a boring boss, like the difference in quality is just really palpable, right? Because Elden Ring is an RPG. Elden Ring allows you to grind for ruins or souls. The game allows you to grind for souls, level up your character, level up your weapons, get the best possible equipment before like taking on the bosses and easily stomping it, right? As long as you have the right equipment and build, nothing in Elden Ring will pose a threat to you, right? Like that's the thing I've noticed when like going when I played Elden Ring was that like if you had good equipment, there's fundamentally nothing the bosses can do to you, right? As long as you have a good build, you don't have to learn the patterns or get good, as the fanboys say. Like, the game really takes no skill at all, which is why it's so popular with casuals who think they're hardcore for getting through the entire thing. Like, Elden Ring takes considerably less skill to get through than the Ninja Gaiden trilogy, right? Ninja Gaiden actually punishes you when you lose. You don't perpetually get stronger like you do in Elden Ring. whenever you take the time to like beat a new boss or like get a new weapon or something. Like Ninja Gaiden, you have to actually get good at the game. A concept that like no FromSlop enjoyer has ever had to experience, right? Because all you have to do to get through a FromSlop game is look at a guide and then get the overpowered weapon. You know, get the Drake sword and then replace it as soon as like the stats become unviable, right? Get like again, like play the game in a certain way. Go to this bonfire first. Upgrade your Estus flask, right? Things that like are so needlessly convoluted and complicated that nobody could figure it out without a guide. But it doesn't matter for Elden Ring fans because they're just gonna look it up, right? Like again, Elden Ring is just a convoluted mess, right? At its core, right? It doesn't have any real substance. It doesn't take any real skill to get through. All you have to do is know how to exploit the mechanics. That's all. There is fundamentally no real skill involved in Elden Ring, which is why someone like me would breeze through it if I took the time to do it. However, when I compare it to Ninja Gaiden, right? When you have to actually learn the game, when you actually have to legitimately get good at the game, if you have to like go through the motions, fight every boss, beat every stage, like you really gain an appreciation for what good game design actually is. And I find myself so much more invested in the world and setting in Ninja Gaiden than I ever did in Elden Ring, right? The characters are memorable. There's interesting twists. There's a real plot. There's a romance. There's a adventure. There's action, right? There's drama. Like it is a probably the great 80s video game storyline. Like Ninja Gaiden is just just great gaming in general. But does an Elden Ring fan even know what a Ninja Gaiden is? Like, do they know how to pronounce it correctly? Have they ever played these games? I can tell you they haven't beaten it. Because if they had, they would realize that there were way harder games than Elden Ring out there. You know what I mean? Like again, this goes into what I've been saying for a long time. Like from slot fans, and I suppose by association, like Larian Sisters and Bethesda drones, like and Rockstar groupies, like all of these guys like worship like Grand Theft Auto and Baldur's Gate 3 and Elden Dingaling because they they don't really have perspective as to what a video game even is. Because Grand Theft Auto, Baldur's Gate 3, that's all they've ever played, really. They don't know about Zelda. They don't know about Mario, Pokemon, Fire Emblem, Xenoblade, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and Ninja Gaiden, right? They don't know the first thing about the wider world of video games, especially older stuff. And that is a crying shame.